All right, hackers and hackerettes, welcome to a new video in our TryHackMe series. In this video, we are going to go through the support hacking machine. And support is a machine that does not have a write-up, but it is a machine that I solved before. Fun fact, I actually was going was recording support as I was solving it, but I actually got stuck, so I could not complete the video and I could not complete support, and I actually got bored, so I just left it, and then I went back to it without recording and I solved it. And you're gonna be super surprised why I got stuck. That's actually a really funny story. So just like usual, if you're here just for the flags, here they are. I don't want to keep you waiting, or you don't have to watch the entire video to get those. But if you're actually here to learn how we got them, then this is why we're gonna go through this right now. I have created two folders. I have created a folder in our TryHackMe labs. It's called Support YouTube. We're gonna be starting there. I'm gonna launch Chrome. If you don't know, I'm using WSL, which is Windows Subsystem for Linux. This is why I'm running Chrome from inside WSL, because my OpenVPN is through WSL. Okay, this is why I'm running Chrome from there, and we are just waiting for our machine to start. Now, support is a little bit interesting because it is actually like chaining multiple vulnerabilities together, and it is like really fun, like a really fun challenge. So even though there is no write-up, I'm not sure why there are no write-ups for it. Like, we're going to be going through it together right now. We're just waiting for the machine to start, but it is actually like really fun, and I quite enjoyed it, minus the thing that we're gonna see right here. Okay, first things first, let's actually ping the machine to make sure that we actually got it. We do. Awesome. And I'm just gonna put that in Chrome. We're gonna start it, and then we are immediately greeted by a login page right here. We do have a corporate email, and it looks like we have what seemingly is an corporate email, and we have a password right here. Okay, so support operations panel, internal platform for managing support operations, infrastructure, ticket management, internal APIs, authorized personnel, and only. All actions are locked. Well, we don't care about that. Okay, so we're going to start by actually doing what we did in Recruit. If you haven't watched Recruit, please do. It's the previous video to this one. And we're going to actually start by running a GoBuster. So we're going to go GoBuster in the directory, or in the dir mode. So we're going to pass in U, which is the URL, W for the word list. We're going to go back lists, and then we're going to go the dirbuster. I do have this list is coming from seclists, which is a very common GitHub repo that has a bunch of lists that is used in security. And I guess this is it, honestly. I don't think there's anything else. We could pass in our command to T if you haven't watched that before. T essentially is going to log all of the output from our running tool like GoBuster into a file called gobuster.log. That way we can reference it in the future. Okay. All of this is very common stuff that you should have seen multiple times before. The only thing I'm going to add here is threads, and I'm just going to add like 80 threads just so it's super fast. Okay. So we're just going to wait for a bit right here, and then immediately you can see a bunch of things that is interesting. We do have /skins, okay? So /skins, if we go to it, it looks like we do have a directory traversal error right here, which is interesting. We do have blue, default, green, and red, so I'm going to like choose one of them, trying to run red.php. Let's see what happens. It's a little bit laggy because of the OpenVPN connection, I assume. But once we like open these things, we just get like blue or red background, which is interesting. We do have /layout /includes. Let's try like /layout right here. Bootstrap, we don't care. Default opens nothing, just a background color. Let's try red.php here. So you actually see the red, it's just background. Okay. So there's nothing really interesting here yet, which is okay. Gonna leave this running. I'm gonna open another WSL tab. And we're gonna go into recruit. Sorry, not recruit. We're in support right now. And we're gonna go support YouTube. And we are going to, just for the sake of it, run an in-map scan. Because I treat every machine as like, I know we're mainly focusing on the web, but I want to treat every machine as like a random box so that it could be having like multiple services running. Okay, so I'm going to pass that to nmap.log, put in my root password, there we go. Okay, so we do have skins, includes layout, and we do have a bunch of things here. It looks like we are exceeding, basically we're getting a timeout for a bunch of the things. Okay, and it looks like we have help at support.thm here, which we could use this as login. So it looks like we do have login here to use that. Just before I do anything, I'm gonna like clear all of the cache. Performance, no. Where's the history and cache for this thing? Delete browsing data, just delete everything, all time, boom. So we'll be deleting everything from here. I'm just gonna give it a refresh. We still have these auto-filling things, which is interesting. I thought we're gonna like remove everything from here. Well, anyway. Looks like mmap is quite stuck, but I don't think this is the problem. It looks like the OpenVPN connection is a problem. I'm gonna stop this because it looks like the 80 threads is killing the OpenVPN connection or something. I'm gonna restart mmap. Let's see where that takes us. Refresh here. It looks like we're having connection problems with the machine for some reason. Let's pick that. Oh, we're gonna remove the HTTP here. So this loaded, but we are having like ping spikes essentially. Well, whatever. So it looks like we do have an interesting username and right here, which is help at support.thm. So that means we could essentially use this to do a FF request. If you don't know what FF is, it is essentially a tool that allows us to do fuzzing. So I'm going to explain this as we go through it, okay? So just first of all, so this makes a more sense, I'm going to remove this and we're going to actually go into our machine right here. I'm going to go to the network and I'm going to try to log in. I'm just going to type test right here as the password. And then I'm going to look at the request and I want you to see here what we are passing in. So we are passing in the email and then we're passing in the password, okay? I'm going to copy this and then I'm going to go into the data right here. And then I'm going to delete all of the data here, okay? And I'm going to paste this in, but I'm going to change the word password with the word fuzz. Now, if you haven't used FF before, I don't know why my camera is so small right now. Maybe I could like make it a little bit bigger in case this makes the, I don't know, makes the video cooler or something. Yep, I'm missing that with that in production. All cool. Okay, anyway. So right now we are including the word fuzz right here. So the word fuzz means what FF is going to do is it's going to go through the word list that we are specifying right here. So we're going to go back, lists, and then go rock you. So it's going to go through the word list right here on the URL that we're passing to it, which is going to be this URL right here. And then we do have -x or tag x, which means the request, the HTTP request that we want to send, and we're sending a post request. And then tag h in capital, which is a header. So we do know that we need the content type header. If you look at the headers right here, you do have the application, www form URL encoded. I'm going to copy that header, paste that in like that. And then tag D stands for the data that we're sending to the request. And then we're sending the email, which is help@support.thm. This is URL encoded. That's fine. And then the password is going to be fuzz. Okay. Now, what's going to do, what's FF is going to do is going to go through the word fuzz, replace it with every list or every item in the list that we have defined right here, which is the Rocky list. So essentially it's doing a dictionary attack by replacing the word fuzz with every entry in Rocky. Okay. Now tag FR here is a filter, and it's going to filter the response for the word invalid credentials. So I'm just going to copy the word credentials here, or you can just pass in invalid credentials. And essentially it's gonna consider every request that comes back or includes the word credentials that we're filtering for is an invalid request, and then we're not gonna assume it has worked. Now every or any response that comes back that does not have the word credentials is gonna be considered a correct request, and it's gonna show us the password that it used to log in. I'm gonna pass this to ff.log, or sorry, pass it to T with a file ff.log. Mmap is not working, whatever, let's just cancel it. I know that we're not gonna need mmap anyway, okay? And immediately once we do that, we get a password called Snoopy, okay? So using that, we actually were able to hack in the help@support.thm, and the password is Snoopy. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a notes, or actually I'm just gonna echo to it, HR password \n. I actually don't know if this is going to be translated or it's going to be literal. Whatever, we're going to see. HR password, and then we have support help@support, and the password is Snoopy, and then we're going to echo this into notes.log. Okay. Let's cat notes.log. It actually put \n literally. So what we could do is fix it ourselves in Vim, like I don't know what I'm doing, so like that. And then if you don't know how to exit Vim, when you open Vim for the first time, you can press I in order to go into insert mode, and then you can write like normally. And then once you're done with writing, you can press escape to go back into like command mode, and then put a shift and the colon, so like the two dots on top of each other. You can see it at the bottom here. I think I can make this better. And then write WQ for write quit, and then an exclamation mark, and boom, you quitted Vim and successfully saved your edits. Okay. So we're going to go back in, and then we're going to log in here. I'm going to save the password because we can log in a bunch of times, and voila. We logged in as a help desk user. Cool. So it looks like immediately the only thing that we can do is choose something from the theme right here. So I'm just going to choose red. Now, immediately, you're going to notice that we do have the same options that we got. Also, the URL parameter is pretty clear, but it looks like we do have the same options that are coming from the /skins right here. So blue, default, green, and red, default, red, green, and blue. Okay. So it looks like these are just loading PHP files in the .php, in the skins folder. Okay. This is pretty interesting. So that means we essentially could load PHP files using the skin parameter. But in order to prove that, we are going to run another GoBuster. But I'm just going to tee it into GoBuster 2. But instead, we are going to remove the directory right here, and then we're going to run it in like PHP mode. Okay. So we are going to, or not PHP mode, but like file mode. So directory mode, it automatically scans for directories and files. But what we're gonna do is that we're gonna give it a list of common PHP files. In order to do that, I could actually go back here, tools, and then go into sec lists. We're gonna go to discovery, web content. And let's see here what we have. So what we have here is, that is a lot of files. Web content. Common API. I'm pretty sure we do have like something specific to PHP in this thing. So the idea here that we're trying to get is web servers. I don't think it's web servers. So we're trying to like list all of the common PHP files that could exist on this server. So let's actually go into tools, sec lists. Let's actually display this in a better way. Let's go to, not web shells, sorry, discovery, web content, and then we could, this is much better. Do we have something specific here? Maybe web servers actually. And in there we got Apache, Nginx. Nah, not what we're looking for. Programming language specific. This looks interesting. And then, yeah, common PHP file names. There we go. Okay. So it is called programming. Oh, come on, man. I don't want to run through the list again. So I can press Q and then programming language specific. There we go. And then we're going to go through PHP. php.fuzz. This could be interesting, but this is not what we're looking for. We're looking for the common PHP file names. Okay. So this is the final command. Let's run that thing. And we're running at 80 threads. And then you can immediately see we have a bunch of files. We do have info.php. We have logout. We have footer. We have config. We have dashboard. We have API. We have a bunch of awesome stuff here. Literally a gold mine in this GoBuster scan. So we found a bunch of files here, which is pretty cool. So our idea here, our proof of concept, is that we are trying to load one of these files. Config.php immediately jumps out to me, which looks super interesting. Okay. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to try to pass config.php to the skin parameter here. But there are two things to notice. So the very first thing that we should be noticing is that we are loading a file from the skins directory, but we're not passing skins here. Also, it's called green, but the file is called green.php. So there are two rules that we need to note. We are starting from the skins directory, and then we don't have to pass the .php extension, okay? So given this context, I'm going to go back a directory because we're starting from skins. So I want to go back to the main directory, and then I want to load config file, which means we're loading config.php, but I don't need to include the .php. I'm just going to copy this URL in case I need to duplicate it later. And then I'm going to press enter. And then, okay, it looks like nothing happened, but the UI changed a bit. This is a very critical observation. If we view the source to this page, now I want you to see what we have right here. It looks like we found a password. Where did this come from? So what happened is actually the page included the config.php file in the source. And then the content got displayed as raw content. And then we have a password right here called master password. We're going to copy that. This looks like something worthy of getting into our notes. If we get our notes right now, it looks like we have HR password. We have this URL, this username and password set. We have a password, but we don't know what it is for yet. Okay. But we are super far from gone. You check the rest of the page. There's nothing here. Okay. It looks like we do have a site name, version. We don't care about that. Now, we want to go back here to our list, and we can see a bunch more files. So it looks like we have an info.php. Let's just try to load that info.php directly to see what we have right here. It gives us a PHP info page. Okay. We can mess around with that later if we need to. We do have a logout. It's not very interesting. We have a footer. Kind of interesting. We have an API, which is very interesting for me. So let's load the API page. I'm actually just going to edit it directly in the view source because I'm more interested in viewing the source of the page. And look what we have here. We do have a bunch of interesting stuff. So session start, we're starting the session. And then we have a cookie called isItUser, and then by it defaults to MD5 false. So if the IT user is not equal to the MD5 true, then we have access denied to the user, or like to the API page. So if I try to access API.php right now, it's gonna give me like access denied because it looks like I need to set this cookie called isItUser and set it to the value of true as a string but MD5'd. Okay, we get access denied. Interesting. We do have a bunch more code here that we are not interested about. It looks like we are commenting on setting user password, user ID. Okay, so all of this looks interesting, but we're also including the footer. Okay. So it looks like we have something to pursue right now. So we need to gain access to the API page. Okay. To do that, we already know that we need to set a cookie. And it looks like we already have the cookie, but its value is incorrect. So this value is no in MD5. So all we need to do is we're going to echo, or actually we could just do it much simpler, like PHP interactive show requires the readline extension. Really? I thought I had that installed. Maybe not in WSL. Oh yeah. Okay. So in WSL, I don't have the CLI version, I guess. Anyway, we are gonna simply just echo MD5 true. This is all what we're looking for, like this value right here. I'm gonna copy that. And then I'm gonna go into here. I'm gonna edit the cookie value. And then I'm going to give it a refresh. Boom, baby. We get access to a new section right here. And we can access the API.php right here. So I'm going to click it. And it looks like we can go to an API page. As a help desk user, you can query your own profile /user/3. Okay. So let's just do /user/1 maybe. And there we go. We get a username right here. This looks like special admin at support.thm. Okay. So it looks like this is also worth adding to our notes.log. Yeah. So if we cat our notes, it looks like we do have a username and we do have a password. Okay. So it looks like that this password goes for this username. Let's try it out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to essentially just go here. And I don't know why it logged me out, honestly. But that's okay. Looks like I should not have logged out, but I'm just going to clear my cookies anyway, because I'll be trying to log in as special admin right now. Now pay attention, because this is the part that I actually got stuck on. When I'm trying to add in the password right here, it doesn't work. And this is the reason why I got stuck, because I now tried to log back in. I thought this is incorrect. This is the password for something else. I tried to go back in. I tried to read the rest of the files. I tried to do crazy stuff. Nothing worked. The only reason that this worked is I was just writing the password myself without copying it, and I missed the @ symbol. So I just wrote support 1110. So I'm just going to change the type here to whatever. It doesn't matter. And this is the password that I wrote. I actually forgot to write like the @ symbol. And then, oh, I forgot to fill in the username or like the email. And then when I signed in, it actually worked. I solved this because I completely miswrote something. I did it purely by chance, and this is why I got stuck. It was super stupid. So the password that you actually fetch right here, it's not an @ there's no @ in the correct password. So the real password for the admin is support110 without the @ symbol. Let's go to our notes. Let's edit that. I don't know why this is a thing. I don't know if this is a mistake in the room or like the box. I don't know if this is intentional and somehow you're supposed to figure out there's no @ I have no idea. But it took me like, it actually just took me a mistake, a complete coincidence in order to solve this thing. Anyway, we are gonna go. So first of all, you get your first flag right here, which is the admin flag. Pretty cool. Next, we need to check the contents of the file home ubuntu user.txt. Okay. So it looks like we can use the skin, and then you could try to read the file in there. But once you do that, you'll actually see that there is no there's no value here that is being printed out. So the content of the file is actually not working. So let's try without the file. So maybe we're gonna, like, if we are in var ww and then html, so let's go back like 3 levels, and we could go to so right now we should be in root, right? So I actually need to visualize this. So assume that we are in pwd, so home mic. So let's see, we go into var www and then just make it directly equal html. Sudo make directly html. So let's assume that we are right here. So we need to go back 3 levels. So we will be here, and then we could go home, and then we could go Ubuntu, which we don't have, but that's fine. So 3 levels, and then home, and then, oh boy. So this looks correct to me. Let's see if that works, but it looks like it doesn't, and you might, I might know why, because it's adding .php at the end of this thing. So it's trying to load home Ubuntu user.txt .php. So maybe there's a way that we could like make it skip. Maybe we could put like a null byte at the end here, or make it skip like the rest of the file. But I don't think this is gonna work. So let's do like PHP and null bytes and string. So it is a \0. Let's try it out together. Is this gonna work? The answer is no. It's still this is the flag that we have, and then we still do not have any way to get this file. But that's not it. You can see that because we are admin right now, we have unlocked a new selection right here, which says date and time. So date, time, which is interesting because that means now we are executing commands on the server. So maybe we could just like add our own command to be executed right here. We're going to go into the select, and then you can see here the value is date. So it looks like the value that is being executed is the date command. So the whatever value is here is just going to execute it as a command. Let's verify that by doing cat and then cat and then home Ubuntu and then user.txt. I believe that was the, yeah. So home Ubuntu user.txt. So this is on the date. So I'm gonna select date, and let's see what happens. It is super slow for some reason. Do I have any scanning running? Nope, I don't. Okay, so it says only date command is allowed. But that's pretty easy. That is so simple to go around. So I already have date selected. I don't think I can select date again. So I'm just going to select time because it's easier. Like, I don't care about this. So I'm just going to go to time. I'm going to select time right now. And then I'm going to go back to the form right here. And then I'm just going to add, like, execute another command in the same command, essentially. Home, Ubuntu, user.txt. That's all I care about. Like, we still are executing the date command, but we're just executing the cat command right next to it. We're going to go to date. Let's see if that works. There we go. It's really simple. So we got the flag 001, and this is how you get the second flag. So yeah, I hope this was fun for you as it was for me, but not originally though, because this missing password thing has been crazy for me. So this password you actually find in the file is incorrect, and the correct password is support wanted. This threw me off so much, and I actually got stuck on the machine because of that. So thank you for watching. The last thing is going to be today's sponsor is patchlog.io, which is actually my product. I am sponsoring myself, which is always funny. Patchlog is essentially a way for you to just show a simple what's new widget on your website. It is super simple to use, so you just sign in. And you do have a bunch of projects that you could work. Each project is a website. So you can see I'm using patchlog in order to put patch logs in patchlog itself. We do have some patchception going on, which is funny. And in here, we do have like a bunch of ways to release new stuff. So all of these are markdown. The cool thing also is that the only way to, or like the simple way to implement it on your website is just copying and pasting this script, and that's it. Once you put that script on your website, of course, your own script is going to have your own project ID. So don't copy this. This is going to be my patch log. But yeah, once you do that, it looks like I'm not pro on my own SaaS product. So yeah, this is something that I should be fixing. But anyway, I'm just gonna cheat my way in and give myself pro. But anyway, funny enough, we could actually go and start releasing stuff for patchlog right now whenever you have a project. Patchlog is free to use, and there's also a paid subscription that gives you more stuff, and it is just $7 a month. And if you go for yearly, it becomes $5 a month or $60 a year. So thank you for supporting me. If you ever think this is useful, or if you ever want to implement something like that, feel free to go to patchlog.io. Link will be in the first comment or description, wherever I decide to put it. And thank you for your support. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you learned something new. I'll see you in the next one. See you.